I texted the family group chat. Graduation's tomorrow. Would mean a lot if you came. My brother replied, we're busy. Don't expect us. My dad added, it's just a piece of paper. I just wrote back, got it. That evening, what they saw on social media made them call me 67 times. My name's Mason. I'm 26, first to graduate college in my family, first to get a master's, first to make it out of our little town without falling back in, and last to ever believe they'd be proud of me for it. Family reunion was always loud in our house. Overcooked turkey, undercooked opinions, and someone crying before dessert. This year it was me. Let's toast to Jason, Dad said, raising his beer bottle at the head of the table. Got promoted again. Regional manager now. Big man. Everyone clapped. My brother beamed. His girlfriend leaned into him like he just won the Nobel Peace Prize. I forced a smile. Congrats, man. Jason didn't even glance at me. Not bad for someone who didn't waste time on college, huh? Laughter erupted. Dad slapped the table, choking on his drink. Mom added, see, Mason, you could have done something real like your brother. But no, books and loans and what? A certificate? A master's degree, I corrected quietly. She waved her hand. Same thing. I stared at my plate. The cranberry sauce looked like it had more dignity than I did. Aunt Karen chimed in. Well, when is the graduation anyway? Might as well make it a family weekend, right? My chest tightened. Maybe this was the moment. Maybe they'd show up just this once. Next Saturday, I said, 2 p.m. University Hall. I already sent the invitations. Jason snorted. Wait, you're actually doing the robe and stage thing? I nodded. He looked at Dad. Can we not? Dad didn't even blink. We're busy. Don't expect us. Silence. It was like someone had yanked all the air out of the room. Mom stabbed a green bean like nothing happened. It's just a piece of paper, Dad added. You going to hang it next to your student debt? A few people chuckled. I didn't. That evening after dinner, I sent a message to the family group chat, just reminding graduation's tomorrow. Would still mean a lot if you came. Jason replied, just reminding you, we're busy, don't expect us. Dad followed, let me say it again, it's just a piece of paper. I stared at the screen, then typed back, got it. That was it. No fight, no guilt trip, no begging. Just got it. I didn't know it yet, but those 2 words would echo back louder than any speech I could have given from that stage. Because what they saw later that night, what the rest of the world saw, wasn't just a graduation. It was the first time I showed them what they'd really lost. And by then, it was far too late. You want the truth? I paid for everything, not just my education. Everything. Rent, groceries, car repairs, phone bills, my mom's dental surgery, my dad's truck insurance, Jason's gambling debt twice. I was 19 when I took my first job cleaning night shifts at a clinic while doing undergrad. Came home at 3 a.m., smelling like disinfectant and despair, and still woke up for 8 a.m. lectures. Meanwhile, Jason was partying through life, freeloading at our parents' place, calling himself an entrepreneur. His startup, selling knockoff shoes on Instagram, and begging me to fund him just this once. The first time he asked, he cried. Said, bro, you're my only hope. The second time he threatened, you owe me for everything I've done for this family. What had he done? No one could answer that. But when I said no, just once, Mom jumped in. Mason, your brother needs support, not judgment. You're not better than him. And Dad, he looked at me and said, if you can pay for college, you can help Blood. Blood. That's what they threw at me every time I said I was tired. Every time I said I couldn't afford it. Every time I said I was drowning. Blood helps Blood. They didn't see the overdraft notices, the skipped meals, the nights I sat in the library until it closed because I couldn't afford heating. They didn't care because I was the smart one, the successful one, the one who figures it out. I remember when I finally got a research stipend during my master's, $3,200 for the semester. I was ecstatic. I called Mom, told her I could finally cut back my hours at the clinic and focus on my thesis. Her response, that's great, honey. Jason's car just died. Can you send him something? I hesitated. 2 seconds, that's all. She sighed. Mason, don't be selfish. He's your brother. That was the script, always. And if I ever pushed back? Oh, you think you're better now, huh? Don't forget where you came from. College isn't family. Every time I climbed a rung, they tugged at my ankle. I still tried. God, I tried. I bought groceries when Mom got laid off, paid the electric bill when their lights were cut, sent money when Dad's side hustle turned out to be a pyramid scheme, and Jason, my golden child brother, kept walking through life like it was a red carpet rolled out just for him. He got a new job, family dinner. He made a new Instagram reel, group chat explosion, me getting published in a peer-reviewed journal, crickets. When I sent out graduation announcements, I even included a note. I know we've had our ups and downs, but this is important to me. I'd love for you to be there. Dad never opened it. Mom said she misplaced hers. Jason sent back a meme of a guy sleeping through a lecture. I laughed, I had to, because what's the alternative? Crying into your thesis? I told myself they'll show up. When it matters, they'll come. But as the day got closer, things got worse. Jason asked if I could help cover his rent again. I said no. He ghosted me. Mom called a few days later. Your brother's going through a lot. Can't you just help out? Mom, I have my own bills. You've always been good with money. I'm $78,000 in student debt. Stop being dramatic. That was their favorite word, dramatic. I was dramatic when I asked them not to post photos at the casino while telling me they couldn't afford gas to visit. Dramatic when I asked why Jason had my laptop, the one I saved 3 months to buy, and Mom said he needed it more. I was dramatic when I found out Dad had withdrawn from my college fund behind my back to pay off his credit card. Blood helps blood, he said again. No apology, just expectation. So when I sat at that family reunion table, surrounded by their toasts to everyone else, promotions, engagements, weight loss, I wasn't shocked that no one mentioned my graduation. But it still hurt. It hurt that Jason's girlfriend got a birthday cake while I couldn't get a "we're proud of you." It hurt that I brought a printed graduation invite tied with a gold ribbon and Mom left it on a pile of old coupons and unopened mail. It hurt that I had to remind them in the group chat at all. It hurt more when they answered, "We're busy, don't expect us. It's just a piece of paper." And I typed back, "Got it." But that night, that exact night, they saw something they weren't ready for. Because while they were busy watching Jason's beer pong highlights, my name was trending. Someone had filmed my research presentation 2 weeks earlier. I didn't even know, but it went viral. A student explaining climate modeling in simple language, making the room laugh, cry, and applaud. It hit 1 million views in 24 hours. Then the university posted my graduation speaker announcement. Then a local news station covered it. Then their phones exploded. I didn't even have to say a word. The world was finally watching, and so were they. The first call came at 7:12 p.m. I didn't pick up. Second call, 7:14. Third, 7:15. By 7:23, I had 15 missed calls. By the time I put my phone on airplane mode, the count hit 31. And I knew why. That evening, my graduation speech went viral. Not just a few shares, not just my university posting a blurry clip. Full-on viral. Someone from the audience had recorded my entire speech, shaky camera and all, and uploaded it to TikTok with the caption, "This man just made the whole room cry. First-gen grad talking about doing it all alone." In under 2 hours, it had 400K views. By midnight, 3.6 million. I didn't even know it had happened until a classmate sent me the link with 3 words, "Bro, you exploded." When I opened it, I barely recognized myself. There I was, standing at the podium, voice shaking, but eyes locked on the crowd. To the students who got here without parents clapping at every milestone, to the ones who paid tuition with tips, loans, and grit, to the ones who raised themselves and still chose kindness, you made it. You deserve to be seen. The applause, the standing ovation, the tears in people's eyes. I hadn't planned it. I just spoke from the wound. And that wound, the one they'd carved open every year, had finally bled into something bigger than me. I opened my DMs, hundreds of strangers, people saying I reminded them of their own pain, messages like, "I'm crying, this was my story too. My dad also said my degree was useless. You made me feel seen." And then the phone started again. Ring, buzz, vibrate, Mom, Dad, Jason, Aunt Karen, even Jason's girlfriend. The family group chat lit up like a wildfire. "Mom, Mason, sweetheart, why didn't you tell us the speech was going to be public? Dad, you could have given us a heads up. We would have come if we knew it was a big deal. Yo, bro, not gonna lie, that was fire. Can you tag my business page on your post? The traction would help RN. Aunt Karen, just watched your video. Proud of you, even though we couldn't make it. Maybe next time. Plan around the holidays. Next time." I had just closed the biggest chapter of my life without them in the audience, and they wanted a next time. Then Jason tweeted, "Family doesn't always have to show up to love you. Some of us support from afar." With a selfie on the couch, beer in hand, I stared at the screen and something inside me broke. Not loudly, but cleanly, like a thread snapping after years of strain. I opened the family group chat, and for the first time in my life, I didn't soften my words. I didn't coat the truth in politeness. I dropped the mask. "You all want to know why I didn't tell you the speech would go viral? Because I didn't think it would. Because I wrote it alone for people like me, not people like you." Typing bubbles appeared. I ignored them. "Mom, you called my thesis a hobby. Dad, you said graduation was just a piece of paper. Jason, you borrowed my laptop and never returned it. You took $600 for rent and used it at a casino. And when I said I couldn't send more money, you ghosted me. But now that 3 million people are clapping, you want to be proud. You weren't there when I cried at 3 a.m. writing my dissertation. You weren't there when my fridge was empty for a week and I told you I was fine. You weren't there when I defended my thesis and all I wanted was one text that said, 'We're proud of you.'" Silence. Then Dad replied, "You didn't need to share all that online. It's upsetting." I stared at his message. Not "you're right." Not "I'm sorry." Not "we should have been there." Just "you're making us look bad." I typed, "Funny. I spent years trying not to make you look bad. Skipped therapy, lied to friends, made excuses for why I sent money every month like it was rent. I gave you everything, and still it was never enough." Then I sent the last message. "If I mattered when no one was watching, you would have shown up. Don't pretend now. I'm not here to boost your image. I'm not your validation. I'm not your wallet. I'm not your scapegoat. I'm done." One by one, read receipts popped up. Mom read, Dad read, Jason read. Karen left the chat. My phone started vibrating again, this time with a call from Mom. I declined. She called again and again. I turned the phone off. I walked outside. It was cold, December breeze slicing through my hoodie, but I felt warmer than I had in months. No more silence, No more don't rock the boat. No more swallowing rage to keep the peace in a war I never started. They could call, they could rage, they could sob. But the door, it was shut. And this time for good. I didn't block them, that would have been mercy. No, I muted them. I let the silence speak for itself, to watch their messages float unread, to sit in the pit they dug for me and feel what it's like to be invisible. Because for the first time in my life, I wasn't begging for love. I watched them realize what they never saw before. The next morning, my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. 72 missed calls, 128 unread messages. 3 voicemails from Mom, 5 from Dad. Jason, we need to talk ASAP. Jason's girlfriend. Mason, you're hurting your family. Aunt Karen, you're being dramatic again. Again. That word, like it was a crime to feel anything. Like it was weak to finally scream after being silent for 26 years. I put my phone on the counter, made coffee, and sat on the balcony of my new apartment. Top floor, view of the skyline, rent paid in full. No roommates, no secondhand mattress, no noise, just me. Free. That day I did something I'd been scared to do for years. I logged into the bank app and cut off all linked payments. The monthly auto transfer I sent to Mom, gone. The Netflix account Jason freeloaded on, locked. The Amazon Prime account tied to Dad's email, canceled. The emergency credit card they all borrowed when they were short on cash, closed. One by one, I severed the ties. Click, click, click. And with every confirmation email, I felt lighter. Then I made another folder on my desktop. Receipts. I started dragging in everything. Screenshots, Venmo logs, text messages, the PDF of Dad's IOU he made me sign then laughed about. Because I knew what was coming. They'd rewrite history. They'd say I abandoned them, that I was never there, that I changed. So I made sure the truth was organized, time-stamped, and backed up. By noon, my inbox was blowing up. Subject interview request. Subject podcast invitation. Surviving without support. Subject TEDx interested. Please respond. Subject feature article. The viral grad who said what we all felt. I was scared, but I wasn't small anymore. I sent a reply. Yes, but I speak on one condition. This story isn't about reconciliation. It's about liberation. The editor wrote back in 5 minutes. Perfect. That's exactly what people need right now. That night, I posted one photo on Instagram. Just me standing in my apartment holding my diploma in one hand and a coffee mug in the other. Sun pouring in, peace on my face. Caption, for every person who graduated alone, this is for you. For every person who fed their family before feeding themselves, this is for you. For every person who had to become their own parent, cheerleader, and safety net, this is for you. You're not too much. You're just finally being enough for yourself. 120,000 likes, 12,000 shares, hundreds of comments from strangers who finally felt seen. And somewhere in that sea of love was one comment that stopped me cold. Jason, proud of you, bro. Even if we weren't always the best, we got history. I didn't reply, but I saw it. And that's all he was going to get, of you. A few hours later, a message from Mom. No apology. Just, we're family. We shouldn't be fighting like this publicly. Like she hadn't been the one to say, it's just a piece of paper. Like they hadn't skipped my graduation to watch a football game and eat leftover turkey. She continued, people are talking. I'm getting messages. Your aunt said her coworkers saw your video. I hope you're proud. I was, more than she'd ever been of me. I closed the message. Didn't respond. That weekend, I got an invitation to speak at a youth conference. Fully paid travel, honorarium, hotel. On the flight there, I scrolled through my old photo album. Birthday parties where I baked my own cake, report cards with no one to show them to. My acceptance letter folded in a drawer. And now me, flying first class in a suit I bought with my own money to talk to kids who felt as lost as I once did. During the Q&A, a girl raised her hand. Do you ever wish they were here to see this? I paused, and I told the truth. They saw everything. They just didn't look. And now they can watch from the sidelines, but I don't perform for them anymore. The room went silent. Then someone stood. Then another. Then applause that didn't feel polite. It felt real. After the event, I got another text from Jason. We should grab lunch sometime, clear the air. Family's all we've got, right? I laughed out loud, then deleted it without reading the rest. Because no, family isn't all we've got. Sometimes all we've got is ourselves. And that is more than enough. It's been 4 months since I texted, graduation's tomorrow. Would mean a lot if you came. 4 months since Jason replied, we're busy, don't expect us. Since Dad said, it's just a piece of paper. Since I wrote back, got it. Since I let go, not just of expectations, but of them. I didn't expect peace to feel so quiet. Not the kind of silence you get when someone ghosts you. Not the hollow stillness of being ignored, but the deep, grounded quiet that comes when there's nothing left to prove. No more monitoring the group chat. No more rehearsing how to ask for basic kindness. No more over-explaining myself into exhaustion. The house in my head, the one I used to rent out to their voices, is finally empty. And I'm rebuilding. Different rooms, different windows. No more back doors for guilt to creep through. My mornings now start with music, not tension. I light a candle, make coffee, sit on my balcony barefoot, and breathe. I keep a journal, not to spiral, but to remember what I survived, what I gave, what I reclaimed. And recently, something strange has started happening. People reach out, strangers. They call me brave. They say my story helped them cut ties, helped them walk out of the emotional quicksand of guilt and gaslighting. A woman from New Zealand wrote, "I saw your video. I left my parents' house that night, took my kid, we're safe now." A high schooler DM'd me. "My mom always said college was stupid. I applied anyway. I read your story every time I want to quit." They're not looking for a savior. They're looking for permission. And I give it to them with both hands, because no one gave it to me. I used to believe that healing looked like a movie montage. Smiling friends, success, everything clean and bright. But healing is messier. It's unfollowing your own family on Instagram. It's skipping holidays and feeling that mix of grief and relief. It's opening old wounds just to disinfect them properly this time. It's mourning people who are still alive. But in that mourning, there's magic. The kind of magic that makes space for better. The kind that makes room for people who say, "I see you. You're not too much. You don't have to earn rest." A few weeks ago, I ran into my high school teacher at a bookstore. She recognized me from the article. "You always had that spark," she said. "Back then, it just didn't have oxygen." That line stuck with me, because for years I tried to burn bright in a family that kept smothering the flame. Now I'm finally free, living on my own terms, and they know it. They keep their distance now, but I see the likes on my posts. I see when Mom lurks from her alt account. When Jason shares memes about haters. And I don't care. I'm not waiting for remorse from people who can't recognize their own cruelty. My forgiveness is not a key they get to ask for, because it wasn't a door they ever knocked on in the first place. Forgiveness for me is internal. It's saying, you happened and I happened after you. That's enough. This morning I walked past a mother and son in the park. He was maybe 7. He showed her a stick and she said, "That's amazing, sweetheart." And I felt something shift. It wasn't jealousy, it wasn't pain, it was hope. That maybe somewhere down the line cycles can break. That maybe not all families silence the spark. That maybe one day I'll build my own, with no shame passed down like heirlooms. No manipulation disguised as love. Just real warmth, earned, protected, deserved. Until then, I'll keep choosing me every day. Louder, clearer, without apology. Because walking away isn't the end, it's the door home. And this time I have the keys.